Good day.
All right, we're live. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Fun Time Podcast. Another game cast with Minecraft. I love Minecraft. It's so much fun.
Yeah. So today I have a bunch of types, a number of different types of games that we could talk about, as in see what types of games it's possible to make. If you know what I mean, like there's real-time strategy, but is it turn-based or is it live like StarCraft? So we can discuss the various nuances.
Yep. Cool. Well, go on. Dive into it. Actually, first, what's the coordinates to your base? I don't remember. I know it was like, I just don't know. I'm kind of lost. I'm wandering around here.
In the Nether?
No, I'm up in the real world, or whatever it's called.
Well, it's you either came out at my base or at your base.
No, I climbed my way out of that water fortress and took
just
the boat
run
back.
West, straight west.
Yeah, I'm just I think that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm running west. So I'll hit something eventually.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. How's Fort Mac treating you?
It's wonderfully cold, minus 25, windy. I'm not enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to Mexico next week, though.
Nice.
Go from minus 25 to positive 25.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be awesome. Okay, I'm at your base now.
Boost.
There's a lot of horses here. This is my horse, and my horse is amazing. Give it a lick. Tastes just like raisins. So, your game ideas. You've never heard that song before? Come on.
Can't say I have.
Welcome to the internets.
I cannot say I've heard that. I'm not allowed to say I've
I'm
heard
on
that.
fire. Anyways. Your game ideas.
So,
what kind of ideas were you thinking of? Or
right,
what kind of game types were you thinking of?
Well, let's start at one of the very root, not definitions, but the very root. So, is it turn-based or real-time? And I guess the factor that we're talking about is the flow of time in the game, but not just flow of time in the game. It's the flow of time. Like, how do you progress the time? Does the time go on, second after second, like arcade style, or every turn? You've got time.
It really all depends on the game, because you can obviously have two types of games. If you're gonna have a turn-based game, or you have a real-time game. I think to begin with, a turn-based would be the easiest, because you don't have to.
Exactly.
You don't have to have something you don't have
exactly.
to have. I don't know what it would be with coding, but it would have to be constantly performing tasks, and that sounds like a lot more complicated as far as it goes coding-wise.
Yeah, having a graphical interface is pretty much what the real-time strategy is.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it was a turn-based thing, then that would simplify a lot of things to begin with, where you don't have a time progression, you don't have a lot of things like improvements over time or whatever. However, they are cool. And there was a game I was actually playing a little bit today, which I found pretty fun.
Yeah, do tell.
It was this little mining game. It's actually from Toge Games, I believe, Toge. They made Infestinator or some Infectinator. That's what it was, on ArmorGames.com.
Infestinator.
Infectinator, I believe it was.
Okay.
It's a game where it's your screen. It's like an 8-bit game. Like, the resolution is this, kind of like 8-bit graphics and animation. So it's pretty cool. The whole thing that you do is there's different little on your map. You have different zones, like different countries that unlocked, and they have different provinces or zones within that country or territory. And you go into each, like, into a city.
Do you play a worm?
No, what you do, you go into a city and you click, and there's like civilians just kind of running around or just walking around, and you click on a certain spot and it'll infect one, and it'll turn them into a zombie, and then they go and attack other people and turn them into zombies, and sometimes cops come out and shoot you and try and kill the zombies. So the whole idea of the game is the whole idea of the game. What's that?
Game.
What?
No.
What? Why are you freaking out?
Go on. It's just
The whole point is to infect everyone, and then you win. But there's upgrades, there's other items you can get. there's like a ton of other features that are tied into it. So it's pretty fun. And I was playing in a game that was a mining game where you would actually, wow, I'm clipping into the wall right now. That's fucked up. I played this other game today, which was kind of a mining game, where you would basically just same sort of deal, where you have a little map on a screen of like 8 slots, and you'd get different mining, either like miners or like mining equipment, machines that would work for you.
Yep.
And you just kind of let it run, and you can upgrade them, and you also click on screen to help mining. But there's a ton of progression in the game as far as like more stuff that you can unlock as you progress. You can level them up, and then within each one there's other things that you can unlock as you level them up. So however, it does constantly run, so it keeps running. You can log out and literally log back in a day later, and there will be a certain amount of progression.
So tell me about the graphics. Like, how do you know somebody got infected?
Okay, I was talking about the mining game, but
Well, I thought that's what you were talking about the whole time, but you said the point is to turn somebody into a zombie.
Yeah, and then I switched back and I was like, okay, so that's basically the point of it. And then the mining game though that I was playing today.
Yeah, we're playing Minecraft.
No, the mining game that I was playing today was by the same developers, same graphics, but it had different mining equipment you can get, things like that.
Oh, okay.
So you completely missed that entire part of it, I guess. Anyways, for Infectinator, they would turn into zombies. So they would now become zombies. Like their whole character would turn into zombies. And they
but how do you see that? How do you know?
They turn into zombies.
Yeah, I keep do you get an airplane dropping you a bag full of mail, and then you open up the mail and it says, "Dear sir, citizen number 573 just turned into a zombie."
No, it's on screen. On screen, you're
That's
looking at this village.
That's what I'm asking.
If you listened, basically, it was on screen. You're at this village, and you see these little guys walking around, as I said, and you click on the screen somewhere in the map, and then it'll shoot out, and you see all these characters. They're running around. They're like there's houses and stuff. It's a basically a third-person view, like over. It's a above.
Like
view.
SimCity.
Yeah, like SimCity. It's above view of the little village, and they turn into zombies. They run around and try to infect other people.
All right, come to my base so we can go back to the Ocean Palace.
Oh, are we gonna sponge that more? I don't want to sponge it anymore. I'm done with sponging that palace. It's too much work.
And here I thought that was a successful formula.
It was just so much work, though. Fine, I'll go back. I brought my horse back to my base, so. But those games are a lot of fun because there's just so much to unlock, and you're like constantly progressing, constantly getting
and there's
better.
replay value.
Yeah, and exactly, tons of replay value. Like I've played Infectinator all the time. There's little achievements you can unlock as well. So.
Okay, let's move on to the most important question of all.
There's a ton of factors that can go into it.
We're going to talk about these factors in developing a game.
Word.
So, time to go to the most important question of all. 5 minutes into the podcast.
Yep.
Are you going to charge $20 or $10 for your game?
Well, that's not a full question. It could be $20 or $10 or $5 or $2 or free.
I'm giving you the Hegelian dialect of games. So, do you want it $10 or $20?
That has no relevance at all, because you can literally create a ton of money off of free games, as the industry now does
I agree.
with freemiums.
I agree. Yes.
So that's another thing. Or you can just have a free game, a light version of it, where there's certain things that are unlocked. You can cap it, like a lot of MMORPGs on the
World
computer.
World of Warcraft is free up to level 20, 30.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. I think there's like, was it Lord of the Rings Online? There's tons of games where they're free. There's a certain amount of content that's unlocked. But
where are you at now in the game in Minecraft?
I'm on the rail cart heading towards your base. So I think that your most important question of the episode is the most irrelevant.
All right, so
question.
we gotta build up to that. We have to build up to that. Develop the game.
That's like the last thing. Well,
exactly.
Obviously you want to look at revenue generation. That's going to be a part of it, but it's not the main focus of it.
Exactly.
First, you got to make a game that's actually fun to play. Otherwise, no one's going to buy it, and no one's going to download it, even if it's free. So.
Okay, so let's discuss. So, what about?
Hold on. Well, okay. So, one of the ideas I had, I'll just kind of go into a game idea, a game
Okay.
concept sort of that I had. It was kind of like Sims meets Second Life meets Pokemon in a sense, where it's like
That
it's
sounds
not,
like a good combo.
It's not the most graphically advanced game. Like it's not super graphical.
Oh, meets
so that you
Pokemon
can,
on Game Boy.
well, yeah. So it's kind of like Pokemon type graphics, maybe a little bit better, like on Game Boy, with the ability to basically travel into different like provinces, or like you could have a big territory that you can travel to different areas, and you can purchase land. There may be resources in some of the land.
This
Just
is
these squares.
so
And you
okay.
can
What's
build.
the basic point of the game? What's the environment and what's the conflict or whatever?
I haven't kind of thought about that too much. I was kind of thinking of a game concept.
Oh,
The
okay.
story and the lore.
I like it though.
Now, I'm the type of gamer. I'm just gonna say this outright. I'm the type of
I
gamer.
got
don't
lost
give
on
a
my own face
fuck.
just now.
I'm the type of gamer that I really don't give a fuck about the storyline. Honestly, like a lot of the Elder Scrolls and stuff. Like I talk with Fred, and he's telling me like all about like all the lore. He's like, "Don't you remember this and that?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't read it." Like next.
Yeah.
Just skip all the text, all the talking. I just want to go kill people and get better gear and go sell it and make money and be rich and do whatever I want to do in the game. I'm just kind of like a sandbox. Don't care about story. I just want fun gameplay that's fun
Yeah.
and addictive.
Yeah.
Um,
I read the story though.
Yeah, I mean sometimes.
Fred and I can
sometimes
have a good
it's
conversation. We'll have our own side podcast. We'll have
Yeah,
a
there you go.
podcast 5B.
Yep. You can have a Elder Scrolls themed podcast.
No, I won't do that. But we'll have a. Actually, I guess I just said I will do that.
You did just say you do that. So now you're lying, and it's recorded and it's on YouTube. People, if you want to reference him lying, you got it right here.
This isn't fair. This is very impressive.
So anyways, I was thinking of like a game type that basically what you'd be doing is it would just kind of be open world where you could kind of do whatever you wanted to do with an in-game currency as a cryptocurrency, probably HyperCoin. That's just my initial kind of idea for it. But the whole point of the game is to basically now the whole concept would be you could just kind of create whatever you want. You can make buildings, you can create little businesses on there, you can sell everything. I want the entire game economy to be player driven and to be player based, where there's not a lot of NPCs. It's mostly like auction trading between like player to player trading, player to player exchanges
How do I win?
as much as
Is
possible.
it in rounds or is it in?
You make more
one
money.
big battle?
It would be a live game, kind of like a third-person view. Do you have all the sponges? Because I don't have any sponges.
Oh shit!
I think you have the sponges.
I thought I left them here, but I guess I decided it was not a safe idea.
Did you bring them back to your base?
Must have. We'll cut this out. We'll cut this out of the
No,
podcast.
we won't. Because it's beautiful. Because I'm just like staring at you. I just stopped moving completely, just looking at you. Did you leave them in the base? Maybe. Damn it.
I don't know how to get out now.
That's okay. So yeah, that was kind of like my initial thoughts of it. We're like, okay, let's have a. Now this is the other thing, because we were talking about at the beginning, like turn-based or live game.
Yes.
And this would obviously have to be a live game.
You can do both. You can do a turn-based with live elements.
You could, but not in the online sense, which is kind of what I was looking at too. Would be like an online, like MMO or MMO, not necessarily RPG, maybe RPG, but more just
I'm
a
seriously
sandbox
lost.
game. That's okay.
Oh, here it is.
Boost. But kind of more of a sandbox game in the sense that you can go buy land, you can plant like crops on it, and maybe you have to unlock certain recipes or whatever. Like you have to find rare items in the game that unlock certain things.
How do you travel?
Um,
Do you have a character, or
either by
are
foot-
you
you-
like
you'd-
this entity making villages?
Probably character. I think you'd want to have a character in the game so that you could actually move around and you could literally travel. You could find like there would be a open wilderness or open world that you kind of travel through with certain hubs. Like say if you're in a certain province or in a region, you could have a some sort of transportation that would then transport you to another destination. And say if you go out into a province in the middle of nowhere and then create a town, or like you build a town and you build a transportation hub, then you could have it listed on the hub list where you
So
could,
a lot like the War Z.
the game, the War Z.
Yeah. Well, because in that game you like travel around like Second Life-ish, and build stuff.
No. Now which War Z are you talking about? I've played both in like War Z do you mean DayZ, or do you mean War Z which turned into Infestation survival stories? That's my question for you, because I played all those games.
Wait a second. I thought it was the War Z.
There's DayZ. There was the War Z, which had these. It was like a post-apocalyptic or post-apocalypse zombie open world survival game.
Yes.
With like safe areas. Yeah, kind of like that.
Where JB would trick newbies, like, hey.
Yeah. That
hey,
was War
Adam,
Z, which was now
I'm new here
yeah.
too. Let's explore together.
Ow. Yeah, and then as soon as you get out of the safe zone, you just turn around with your pistol and pop them in the head. Kind of. I was thinking more to the sense where, again, not that graphically demanding, because I kind of wanted like a mobile game. I got him. But yeah, where you can kind of build and create your own area, your own zone, and you can have guilds as well set up, where it's basically, instead of a guild, it's more like a community, or more like how could I phrase this? More like where I'm getting pretty lost, but I think I'm finding where you went to. So you have a sort of guild in the sense where basically you're a part of a community. You are clipping through the walls.
What if I don't want to be part of a guild?
Then you don't have to, but then say like one guild could have land claim. So if you wanted to build in this area or whatever, if you wanted to join this guild / community, then you would have to be accepted into the community. And the community itself could even have a hierarchical system where certain people, they pay a certain fee into the community. All the funds are completely transparent and viewed on a ledger, so you can see everyone's whatever it is, weekly tax that goes into the community based on how much land they have or whatever it is, and how that money gets reinvested. You'd have basically a community leader who it would basically be funded into their, not necessarily account, but into their guild holdings, and they would be able to spend it based on consensus from all the guild members. So they wouldn't just have free reign over all the funds, they would have to use it and invest back into the community to actually grow it. So they couldn't just embezzle money, like if it was actually hyper cryptocurrency. They couldn't just suddenly get an account balance up to 10,000 and just be like, lol, fuck you later, and just like jack all the money, because that's been done before. I know a lot of people who's that's happened to in World of Warcraft, for example, where the guys will just take tons of gold, and especially if you're dealing with a cryptocurrency that actually has US dollar value to it, it could be a little bit more incentive to those type of douchey people to try and do those kind of things. So if you could have it, and it's kind of funny because I was saying this, I was like, man, if only real government worked like where every decision to spend money had to be voted upon, and there had to be a majority consensus into which the money gets spent. That way everyone kind of has their responsibility, they have their own say, and they have that ownership and that stake in the community, which would be kind of cool.
I was kind of aiming for you because you were taking all the experience.
Oh, sorry. But anyway, that's just like, there's that concept of the game, and there's tons of other things too that like, this just goes on and on and on, the ideas that we could put into this game. But basically, yeah, it would be a sandbox style game where it's open world, multiplayer, you can develop and create things. I forgot to turn my phone off, my bad. And yeah, you just kind of get to do things, get to do whatever you want to do, build whatever you want to build. You can go create lumber mills or something and basically harvest wood as a resource. You could maybe make mine shafts and go or like mining. You could get excavators. There could be tons of different equipment we could unlock. Now the beauty of this too is that the original concept, the original design of the game,
I lost
could be
my
very.
sponges.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you lose them? I got one.
Yeah.
Did you put them down?
I put them down, but it's just I had to
okay.
get the hell out of there.
Now this game concept, one of the nice things of it is that at the beginning it's very bare bones. Like there's not a lot of or it could
Like the
be very bare
community
bones.
makes its own economy.
No, I was gonna say the fact like in the idea of like harvesting lumber or whatever to as a building material for your community. Well, at the beginning of the game, say maybe we only have like the highest piece of equipment you could get would be like a chainsaw or something like that. And now, boom, we've developed the game, but there's tons of other things you can do in the game. And then as we progress, if we get a larger user base, then we can be like, okay, hey, let's look at... Like,
Well, you're adding content, is what
exactly,
you're saying.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Where
That's
we can
good.
then start adding, like, okay, now we've created more content for all these different
Dear users,
sections in the game.
once
just patch
everyone
updates.
invites 5 friends, we will add naked women to the game.
There you go, naked 8-bit women. Duke Nukem 3D. I don't know if you've ever played that, but
Of course.
those
of
are
course I
some
have.
pixely breasts on the screen.
No, didn't make them bad, though.
Didn't make him bad. Shake it, baby. You want to dance? But yeah, so that's one game concept. Now, that's a pretty complex game, and at the beginning, if we try and launch a game company and want to develop games, I think that's a much more long-term game.
I dropped the sponge. I'm low on
job
health.
to do. One fucking job.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I was saying like that would be a very long-term kind of game to make. Like that would take a lot of resources, and that would take a long time.
Yes.
To fully develop to the potential that we'd want it to be at.
I agree.
But so in that, why don't we take?
Did you find the other sponge?
Well, I've got my sponge. I don't know where your other sponge went.
It's in here.
Oh, no, I'm gonna go cook my sponge. I'm gonna cook my sponge.
Thanks for helping.
No problem, bruh.
I guess this is now an individual
I'll
effort.
go help as soon as I get this.
It's
back.
2 individual efforts in the ocean mod. Okay, I like your idea.
Yeah,
but it's way too graphically intense for someone to do as a first-time game.
Yeah, and so I was just about to say that. I was like, okay, but that's a big one. So why don't we kind of brainstorm right now on something that would be super simple?
That's what we're doing.
That we could create. I just kind of wanted
what we're doing.
Tee off that first one of
All right, that's cool.
a massive game that I was kind of thinking about a while ago.
That's your magnum opus.
Where that's my baby. Someone's gonna steal it and fucking make it in like a year from now and be like, "That's my game." No, just kidding. So what do you think? Like a turn-based game? Are we looking at like a combat game? We can make
okay. Here's the thing about
like a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, Final Fantasy is a worldwide epic game. So anything with the graph, like StarCraft, for example, that is like one of the penultimate arcade. Like it's a real-time game. It's from 1990, I think 1998 is when StarCraft came out. But you look at it today, and the graphics are still not bad.
The original StarCraft, yeah, it's still really good graphics, yeah.
Yeah, like they're great, and
I remember when it came out.
Approaching 20 years old.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, and we were looking at the trailer, or sorry, no, it was the expansion for StarCraft.
Brood Wars.
When Brood Wars came out, and you're watching the trailer for it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, that looks real. Like that
this
looks like
game
real
is
life.
So good.
Yeah, just the cutscenes at the beginning of the game. Where that dude, where that Terran gets fucked up by one of the Zerglings or something like that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
gets raped. Like, that's so awesome.
Yeah. Kagan and Wolfman are gonna go ballistic. Smash a couple beers.
Yeah, when I was like 8. So a turn-based game.
Okay, so wait. What I was going at with that is imagine this. So no matter what, graphically, the data is still, you could consider it, because turn-based is all data, right? I was saying that you imagine StarCraft, which is like a visually intense game and still considered awesome, but underneath all that visual is still all this like data, like information, like there's numbers representing, you know, how many times you've hit a certain
Oh yeah.
orc or whatever. So what I mean by that is like, because when I imagine a turn-based game, I imagine more so it's more like the data that makes it the game, like I don't know, like you can make a game with just numbers.
Yeah, like there's no visual, there's no graphical
just names,
interface,
numbers, and
basically,
that's
no
like
GUI.
you can't really do a real-time strategy game with that. So that
No, you can. Like a text-based game is basically
yes,
what
yes,
you're talking about, right? Text-based games.
but I don't mean real-time. I mean those. If it's all numbers, it has to be turn-based because you're not going to watch numbers just randomly change live. I mean, so what I'm trying to get at is you can also make like the cheapest game in my mind. So on the opposite side of the spectrum to something that's 3D and visually intense, and you still have to like commit to making data and information about it. Is basically just a turn-based game that's all just numbers, like no graphics at all. Although it would suck, but just imagine that's the cheapest one.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely would be the cheapest. There was a game I played actually that was a text-based game. I have played some text-based games before. There was like, I think like Mob Wars was another text-based game.
Oh yeah,
it was like an online one. It was pretty fun.
I remember that.
But there's this other one. I can't remember the name of it, and it was a lot of fun. You'd have a kingdom, and kind of the way it would work would be each day. So each 24-hour cycle, you would be allotted X amount of points, like turn points.
Yeah.
And with that amount of points, you could then do certain actions. You could you could increase your population.
Yeah.
You could increase your arms. You could
And
use it for
those
developments.
those have
etc.
a very small amount of graphics. Like they have like little images for like what it
This
is.
one,
like,
this one didn't even have any. There was no images. It was pure text. There was
Nice.
that was
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Like
that's
there
cool.
was the only images, like, and I'm trying to remember. I haven't played it in so long. The only images would just be buttons, like literally a button that you click on, and all that is just a JPEG.
Yeah.
With a URL linked into it, or like a coded action to it, so, and that's ridiculously simple stuff. I'm getting almost killed here. I'm a little worried.
This room is quite dangerous, so you got to be careful.
Yeah. Okay. Down to 2 hearts. All right. I'm just gonna heal up. That would be cool. A text-based game would be pretty fun.
So I'll tell you about a text-based game that I played once. It was for Super Nintendo, and it's a good thing that I could play it on an emulator. I never had it for non-emulator, right? It's called Romance of Three Kingdoms, and it's basically like China, circa the year. Or actually, no, my mistake. It was a game where you take over Japan.
Yeah.
In the like 1600s when it
Went
was
from
like
China to where you take over Japan. Okay.
Well, so Romance of Three Kingdoms is a game where you take over China, but I just realized I didn't actually play that game. I only know about it. So back to the game I was talking about. You take over Japan, and it's got like some graphical images, like it's got a map of Japan.
Yeah.
You start off with a province, and then you slowly take over it as the years progress, and each turn is 1 year. And you buy rice and stuff like that, and produce soldiers, and so on and so forth. And that's a turn-based strategy game. Just adding to the mix here on the Game Talk.
Yeah.
Mostly text-based, but actually, now that I think about it, when you invade another place with your army, you do a turn-based battle. But it's like your units are represented as squares on a map, so it's like a big chess map is basically what it was. Yeah. And that's actually really easy to do too.
Well, now here's the funny thing: is that
somewhat graphical, right?
Yeah. Here's the funny thing, though: if you do have a graphical interface, even though they're just, say, squares or like a giant pixel, there's no reason why you can't add instead of a square, say like a red square. There's no reason why that can't be a little
Oh,
soldier icon.
yeah, exactly. Where it's
Right.
a square data, but it's transparent in the background, and it's like a
Yeah.
soldier traveling over the map. I agree.
Exactly.
They were just
Yeah.
hella lazy with the Super Nintendo game.
Well, yeah. So I mean, so a lot of those things, like you can create a graphic, like game with decent graphics, without it being that hard. Like when we're talking about, say, like a 2D game where there's no, you're not in a 3D environment. There's nothing like that. If it's mostly a 2D interface, all those are just simple graphics that are just laid over top of each other
Well,
that
thank
just
you.
have an they just have an attribute. Now, when if you're moving parts and you're having animations go in, that's when it starts to kind of get a little bit more intensified graphics, where
Yes.
where it requires a lot more coding and everything like that. Physics, possibly. Like there's tons of
Well,
things
you
that
can
go
do
into
you
that.
can do games where they're just moving pictures. So it's like there's no physics in the Terran Marine shooting the Ultralisk, right? It's just an
Yeah,
animation.
exactly. It's just animation. So that's another thing which can be which can be done very easily.
Yes.
Easier than a lot of people expect, I'd say,
Yes.
or would assume anyways. You know what happens when you assume?
No.
It makes an ass out of you and me.
Doesn't make an ass out of me.
You never heard that before? Jeez.
I have.
Anyways, yeah, so you can make something super basic that still looks good and doesn't require much work to make. So,
Yes. I agree. Okay, so
which this kind of leads me to the point that I don't want to make a text-based game per se.
yes.
I'd much rather just
Well, you told me about your magnum opus.
well, you know my
Obviously.
magnum opus, but that's yeah. I'll add some raw fish to that.
I'm just, we're only talking about the first game I would make, because it would be a solo operation. Straight up, it would be a purely turn-based data game.
I have made a game before.
Oh, have you?
I have. In
Tell us
Flash.
more.
Programmed it in Flash. It was a whack-a-mole game, basically, where it was just like a little puzzle game where the layout was, I think it was something like 8 by 8, these little circles, and at the beginning it would kind of be randomized, where either in the hole there would be like an icon, like a dude's head or something like that. Sorry, did I hit you with the sword?
No,
You seem really far away.
no, you took the experience.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't give a fuck.
So the game was like this, a whack-a-mole. So
Okay,
it's
go
basically
on,
like
sorry.
a table with all these holes, and it would be random start, where either mine was Whack-a-Bush, so it was George W. Bush.
Oh,
It was his head
dude.
that would like pop up and out, pop up and down in the hole. My English is horrible right now. So you'd come up and out of up and out of the hole and go back down into the hole, depending if he was clicked or not. And it was cool because the game had a system where if you clicked on one head in the center, say, every adjacent head would have an inverse effect. So if they were up, they'd go down. If they were down, they'd go up. And the whole point of the game was basically to get every single thing in the hole, so they'd
Oh, I
all be
see.
down. So it was kind of a puzzle game.
I was going to
And-
say it's a puzzle game.
hmm Well, yeah, I said a puzzle game a while ago, but
You did?
yeah.
When you said
You'll be able to rewind it. Don't worry. You'll
when
hear
you
it.
said whack-a-mole, I imagine an action game.
Yeah.
You didn't say puzzle. You
I
definitely did not say puzzle.
I 1,000% did. Anywho, so that was the game, but it was super. It was basic coding. It had a graphical interface. Like I actually took a picture of George W. Bush and cropped it a little bit to meet like the sizing for the game, and yeah, it was a raging success. It was the best one in the class because it was George W. Bush. And then
I
the
bet,
background
I
of the
bet.
hole was a U.S. flag, and it was like put George back, or put Bush back in his hole. And this was when I was in like grade 9, I think.
That's pretty
I was
impressive.
already opinionated.
It's pretty impressive. Okay, so what's a happy medium? What's feasible to make as a first game?
Well, like, are we programming it all ourselves, and are we doing all the graphics all of ourselves? Because
All right, let's
that's not what I was
let's
going to try and do.
yeah, yeah. I remember because you actually said that in a previous podcast. I recall.
Yeah.
Right, unlike the puzzle game, which you did not say.
All right. Do you want to? We could make a bet in HyperCoin on it. 10 HyperCoin. I bet you 10 HyperCoin. I did say.
Let's make a bet on other things.
Okay. Like how cool I am. How much cooler I am than you?
All right, that sounds like a good bet to me. So let's imagine this. Let's imagine that you have a $50,000 budget, which probably means 1, maybe 2 novice coders. 1 good coder or 2 novice coders.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you do with a bunch of coders, like people that can do the dirty work?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's the thing. Like I really have no idea of the industry. How much is required of it? How hard coding is. But if we were trying to create a simple game, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to get creative here. You would want to be like a simple Flash game, 2D, but we want to have those addictive elements to it, where there's progression, you can level up, you can have improvements.
Yes, so that's the important to the replay value.
So we could do something simple off the top of my head. I'm just thinking out loud. Would be like a sort of like a race car type game where, say, it would be like a stunt game. You'd have to complete these stunts. Where
it's a really good one. That's actually a really good idea. It's a really fun one that I played a lot, because it had the replay value. Is just the one where you scroll to the side and you either have a car or a motorcycle or like a monster truck, and you just if you land with the guy upside down, if his head touches the ground, you're out. And you
those ones. Those are super simple.
Fun as hell.
Yeah, super simple. And there's no in those games. There's no progression. There's maybe you can unlock different bikes, different bicycles.
Yeah, you make
trucks.
money. You make money, and then you get when you first start on a level, you can only get so far, and then you run it 3 or 4 times, and you make money on tricks and stuff. And then you upgrade your shocks or your engine or whatever, and you can make it further now because you can get the farther gasoline refill or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so that was really fun.
Something like that. Those are very there's a ton of them, and they're all really fun to play. Those are really good games. Those are really fun games to play, and probably fairly simple, I'd imagine, to make too. I kind of, as you were talking, I kind of had some other ideas too for a stuntman game, where kind of same stuff. They say you're trying to get through this stunt course. You're trying to get through it. It's just progression. You're trying to complete the level, and as you progress, your distance gets turned into gold. Maybe you get points for crashing into certain things, or maybe not even that. Maybe we don't even have to crash into things, because again, that now you're hitting objects. You're going to have a lot more, possibly physics involved into it. Deconstruction as well.
You know what? I just realized you can. So when I was learning some Java, or it could have been JavaScript, this particular part, but there's libraries where it's all open source. So imagine we're making a Java game. We can put into our game. It's just this one open source code, like a physics code that allows for certain physics or certain GUIs.
Collision,
and it's
cetera,
and so you know what, you can definitely make one of these games that uses those pre-made, prepackaged physics on a cheap budget.
GitHub is is basically an open source portal for coding, for software, things like that.
Yeah.
That you can just go and they're like, all of our things, it's all on GitHub. You can find it all on GitHub, and it's just a source for for other game creators or other programmers, whatever, which have you. So that stuff's pretty cool. And you're totally right. That could be a pretty valuable resource to just use, kind of open sourced engines or whichever.
It was another really fun one. Speaking of simple side-scrolling physics, was it's called Ski Jump.
Yeah.
and it's just like a side-scrolling ski guy where his position in his legs was like your position with your mouse. Like if I move my mouse up, he bends his knees, and if I like move my mouse down, he straightens it.
Yeah.
And you kind of like move upward. You like go down a ski hill, and there's like this basic jump, and pretty much like every time his legs, you're gonna crash him,
Crouch.
and he's gonna die. But like unless you start getting good, that's when you start playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really describe that very well.
No,
but
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I've played it before, but if not,
Like a really
I kinda
old
have
game.
a really good understanding of what you're talking about.
yeah, it was a really old game, and it was made like I don't know. I think by some guy in university.
Yeah. Yeah, we could. There could be. I kind of. I'm still thinking more on that whole like dummy crash test dummy game.
Yeah, those are
Where-
fun, and that's pretty much what this game always amounted to. The ski one is like, yeah, you can try to make the race, but eventually you just try to like do huge crashes
Mhm.
because his
Yeah.
skis would fall off if you
Well,
like
So,
fall hard enough.
I've been playing this game. Actually, I didn't even realize it. I just linked it up now. That there's this game I've kind of been playing, Dismount, where it's all about crashing. You're basically you've got a crash test dummy in a vehicle, and it's like these different ramps or different courses that you run him through, and you can add obstacles like fucking landmines or like turbo boost if it's a big ramp they're about to hit, and you just launch them off of these jumps or into these like traffic areas and just watch them crash into other vehicles or have a crash landing and freaking the vehicle blows apart and stuff.
Yeah.
And the dude, sometimes you get points for like a cracked arm or like a broken arm, broken ribs. If your arm gets severed, then you get an
Oh.
extra combo.
This sounds very unpleasant, Ross.
Well, no, it's just like this gray like crash test dummy that is like your character, and all you're trying to do is just get the highest points.
I
Dismount.
I have an idea that we might have to bleep out. Actually, let's not, because no one's gonna listen to this.
Oh, so much confidence in the show. Don't worry about it.
So, imagine this. To me, I don't like the idea of getting points because I like hurt. I mean, I know it's a crash test dummy, but I don't like the idea like, oh yeah, it's the, like broken arm, extra points. What about
Break his
this?
head.
The crash test dummy is super fragile. Here, you go with two. Is super fragile, and you have to like design ways for it to like not get hurt, and you get points for like how unscathed it comes out.
You know what?
Where like a perfect game is like very hard to get.
He basically the perfect game is where like your dummy survives.
Yeah.
That was actually what I was gonna say for like the game idea I had, where it's like, okay, you have the crash system.
No, you
but
didn't.
You
It's my idea.
You unlock things like better better joints for him. Like you get like this new like carbon fiber, joints for your crash test dummy.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
so
good.
that his joints are now stronger, so there's going to be like less chance of separation, or maybe you can get like extra padding surrounding, like protecting the head,
Yeah.
so that you don't get as much head trauma in your
Yeah.
in your crashes. And you can kind of design this whole like this entire game off of just generating better ways to protect your dummy, so that he can complete the levels before he breaks apart and combusts.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You can
Yeah,
also do
that'd be
the
a fun
same
game.
thing for like imagine a house burning down.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Where-
yeah! Oh,
where the
thank you. That
Beginning
was
of the game, really, a house burning down. That was your idea, Ross.
no, not that. No, not. But it
Yeah.
triggered what I was thinking of before. Keep going. What were you gonna
It's like
continue on with that?
you're this guy that builds. I don't know what the premise of every time there's a house that burns down, but it's like you like just the thought of upgrading stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's any sort of situation that you upgrade against, where it's like
Mhm.
in this one you're against a fire burning down this house.
Yeah,
So you like upgrade the carpets or whatever.
yeah.
It's kind of a lame now that I like consider it. But what did that
Don't
remind you
burn
of?
the house down. It reminded me of a game that I was wanting to make, which was basically like you would, those demolish games where you have those buildings, you have to attach dynamite onto it, things like that.
Not really.
It's kind of like that, but okay. So say there's a building. It's just like this 2D screen. You're just looking at a building. There's steel framing to it and stuff like that. And there's this kind of like a faint line towards the bottom where basically you get a certain amount of dynamite, things like that, and you have to place it on the house in certain places. And when you trigger the ignition, it has to blow it up and basically break it apart so that it's all the rubble and stuff is below a certain height, so that you kind of like demolish it
fun.
to a certain extent. And then I'm jacking those sponges, lol. And then I was thinking, I was like, what if you had like a game where you had to construct a house, and then at the end of like once you construct it, you'd hit start, and it would basically go through like a weather storm or some sort of storm that would try and break down your house. So that
sounds great.
So you have to kind of again, this requires quite a bit of physics, physics engines in it, because you have to have like the proper like you need to have solid physics with your building materials and your house.
Yes.
But then, yeah, that would be pretty cool, because you'd get a certain amount each level. You'd have a certain amount of resources, and you'd have a certain height that your house has to be. So it's like, okay, you have to create a building, and it has to be at this height, and maybe you have to have like a person has to like you have to have a spot for a person at this level. So they have to survive the night, and basically you build it and you go, okay, go, and then all hell breaks loose, and your house has to stay erect.
That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. That was a game that I was thinking of a while ago. I was like, that would be really cool, because it's a neat little sandbox thing. And then again, as you progress, as the level progresses, you unlock new materials that you can use. And say each level you could have, instead of having a set amount of supplies, you could just have instead of a set amount of supplies, you could have a cash balance. Where, okay, this level you get $20,000. Each material, even though you unlocked all these new ones, sometimes you wouldn't want to use it because it's too expensive.
Yes.
So you'd use different materials, and that way there's really, it's just there's so many options that you could have in.
That's the thing, though. You got to code.
House.
You got to like make the options, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are just simple attributes. That's not.
I like that a lot. While you were talking about how there's like a natural event that like tries to destroy your house. Imagine this. Imagine like you're playing the role of a guy that's been dropped, like what's his name, Bear Grylls. You've been dropped in the middle of the desert, and you're building now the house with sticks, and it's like it does the simulation against 5 days in the sun or whatever.
I hate you for referencing Bear Grylls, because he's a fucking.
No, what's the other guy's name?
Show.
Les Stroud.
Les Stroud.
That's why I wanted to reference original.
I was like, how dare you reference this dude who sleeps in hotels and fucking drinks his own piss without
compare him to Les Stroud.
Yeah, how dare you? You know what? It's funny. I'll just quick tangent because we're on that subject. Fucking about a year or two ago, I was working with this guy, and we're watching TV. And Survivor Man is on. I'm like, dude, Survivor Man, let's watch that. Like, that's such a good show.
You were living with this guy?
At the workhouse, yeah.
Okay.
I was on shift, so it was after work. We're kind of just hanging out watching some TV,
shooting the shit,
shooting some b-ball out some school, and he's like, oh man, Survivor Man, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, he's that guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a dumbass.
That he's an idiot?
Because this guy thinks Bear Grylls is the shit.
That doesn't even make logical sense.
No. So he's just not a logical person. So I was like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, yeah, no, Bear Grylls, he's actually surviving. He's out there. He knows what he's doing. Oh. And I'm like, you're not getting them mixed up, right? Like that. He's like, no, the Australian guy or the British soldier guy is like, yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. I've seen Les Stroud do things that I would never do. Like, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, okay, do you understand the difference between the two? Like, Les Stroud is out there literally surviving.
He doesn't know the physics of surviving this guy.
Yeah, no, he has no idea. And he claims to be an outdoors person, and he always goes camping, and he could survive in the wilderness, blah blah blah.
When you first started saying
you're dumb.
No, wait, this guy's I was thinking like, are you talking about a certain former Larchwood roommate?
Oh no, definitely not.
There's another guy that you know that used to be like, no, just
no. He would be no. Stop yelling.
Listen.
No.
Actually, Dave only does that because I used to say listen a lot.
Yeah, listen. Funny times. Sweet, we're making a good dent on this one now.
Yeah.
That would be a cool one too, though, like a survival game, and you have to. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's another idea. Are you writing some of these down? Well, I guess it's recorded. Fuck, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Another really cool one would be like. Yeah, it would be like a survival game. It doesn't have to be graphical at all. Like, it doesn't have to have any. What am I trying to say here? Doesn't have to have any animations or anything. Basically, it can just be text-based and like buttons, different items that you can click
Your food level, your water level.
Yeah, so what you could do, yeah, your food level, your water level. So what you could do is basically each day you have a certain amount. Okay, you have 24 hours, say. 24 hours in the day. And those 24 hours basically act as credits to doing actions. So you'd be like, okay, you're in the desert. What do you want to build, or what do you want to do? And you can be like, you can have an option like scavenge for resources.
Yes.
And it would be like 2 hours. Okay, boom, click that. And then there'd be a percentage of like, okay, you can, and then be like, oh, you found 2 wooden logs, 1 grass bush, and like 5 berries or something like that.
That sounds pretty good.
And then as you'd go, and then sometimes it'd be like, okay, then you could have another action like collect supplies for or like develop shelter. And then you could be like, okay, well, here's your base shelter. You'd have, like, say there'd be, like, 3 shelters that would be unlocked to begin with. And be like, okay, well, here's the plans. You have to have, say, like, 5 logs. Something really simple so that on the first day, boom, you can build, like, a tiny little stick shelter. And it would have a rating of, you know, like, it offers this much protection, whatever. And then as you keep going through the days and you scavenge more stuff, you might find different items that would have a different drop percentage.
Eventually you'll have enough materials to build a McDonald's.
Yeah, well, exactly. You'd have enough materials to build like a frickin' house and
McDonald's.
end up like surviving in the wilderness on your own completely.
Don't you think building a McDonald's would be good?
Yeah, McDonald's would be good. Maybe we could get, hey man, we could get funding for it if we like, hey, we want to put your business in our game. They'll be like, all right, here's $500,000. Really? Yes. Okay. Sweet. Done. We just made $500,000.
We make it reduce your food level.
Listen, folks, if you're a lurker who hasn't subscribed to our channel yet, because currently I think we have 1 subscriber, which is my other channel, and you're watching this YouTube video, we just made $500,000 right there, theoretically, but we just made $500,000.
You're a fool if you don't listen to this.
Yeah, everyone should listen to this podcast. Share it with your friends. Subscribe. Hashtag FTP.
We just invited podcast. People to like duplicate our game and compete against us.
No, they can go to Burger King. You can go to Wendy's.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let's
hey,
make
man,
them pay us.
There's room for everyone, you know? We don't have to try and be capitalist pigs.
All right, I'm franchising this idea, so I'm going to develop a roadmap to approaching a burger joint to get it within your game.
Boost.
You guys can send... well, I'll develop a payment method later, but just throwing the idea out there.
Whoop, whoop. But yeah, that's another cool one, and yeah, it would all be like. And what's the cool thing is that it could kind of be a little bit have a little bit of graphics to it, where
basic graphics.
Say in the bottom left corner, it would be like a little square, and at the beginning it would just be like it would just be a little square, and all it would look would just be like a desert landscape, and then once you build like your stick hut, it would then have like a little stick like thatched hut that would show like there's your lodging, like that's what you live in, and then as you progress it like it grows, and then you could have another window which could be your farm, or even when you click on a button it would just go to another page where it's like, oh, here's your house, and then it would show it on like the full screen or something like that.
This all sounds very promising.
Farm. Yeah, man, I really like the idea of it, and we could keep it simple in like 8-bit resolution. Like it doesn't have to be very like high quality graphics. And
you know, did you ever visit Something Awful when they used to do like those graphics and stuff?
Did I ever visit Something Awful?
Something Awful is a website. They used to be like a popular, I wouldn't say gag site, but like just a popular like humor site. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot more, not serious, but like a lot more like less goofy and more funny,
Okay.
if you know what I mean. And
Yep.
they used to have like a really active forum, and they used to do something called Photoshop Fridays back in like the 90s and early 2000s when Photoshop was a very niche thing. Like not everyone knew or could download a Photoshop.
Yeah.
And so they did like the themes, and everyone would submit like a photoshopped image, and it was just like absolutely hilarious.
I think I definitely remember something like that, and I think you probably either referenced it or you showed me it or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems familiar. It sounds really familiar.
There's one that was comedy 8-bit games. We should seriously like look through it to get some ideas because
Comedy
like
8-bit games, nice.
I forget what it's called. Anyways, the one I'm thinking of.
Go ahead. Did you crash or did you just suddenly go quiet? Oh,
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Did you crash for a second?
No, I didn't do anything then.
Weird. Just
Absolutely
I
nothing.
still heard the static, but you just kind of stopped talking.
Oh, that's highly odd.
Resume. You were
Highly
going
odd.
through what resume?
Anyway, so did you hear the thing? What I was thinking about when you were talking about these survival games is in one of the Photoshop Fridays they did 8-bit games, and one of the games was Irish Potato Famine, and all you see
That's
is
funny.
like it looks like a side scroller, and there's like
Yeah.
one guy standing to the left, and there's like some person on the ground, and it's it's like one of those Oregon Trail
Yeah.
type text messages.
Yeah, yeah.
It says family members killed 1, potatoes found 0.
Oh, that's funny. Family members killed 0 or 1. Potatoes 0. That's very funny.
So
I can laugh at that because I checked my privilege, motherfuckers. Right, I'm a quarter Irish, so before you say anything, fuck off. God, people on the internet get offended too easily.
yeah, the internet's the new public hanging area.
Pretty much, yeah. Where all the hipsters and LGBTQT people and fucking feminist groups and everyone hangs
Careful,
out.
Ross.
People who get super offended, super
Careful, Ross.
I'm not against anyone, man. I employ people who are gay. I couldn't care less. I'm good friends with people who are gay, and I think
Yeah,
I think
but
everyone.
you're saying they shouldn't. You're saying they shouldn't have the right to lynch people on the internet, and well, that's a
What?
dangerous position to take,
I'm
Ross.
saying they don't have the right to lynch people.
On the internet, on the internet, like a digital lynching.
Digital lynching. Oh, digital lynchings are welcome. Why not?
Because
Everyone
pretty
can.
much ruins that person's life. Everyone hates them.
Oh,
they're
you're talking about like the feminists
like a Rob-
digitally
like a
lynching
Rob
people
Ford.
with their comments.
like a Rob Ford character assassination type lynching.
Rob Ford. Oh, you could have like a Rob Ford game where like your whole mission is to like scour the slums of Toronto and try and search for crack rocks.
Yeah, I bet you there are at
You
least
get, like-
8 of those games.
You get like pistols and go around and, like shoot crack dealers and try and get some of their loot.
Take their crack.
You turn into like Rob Ford, the crack cocaine king of Toronto.
Rob Escobar.
Rob Escobar. Would you like to change your last name? Yes. You get like plus rep points for a more badass name. But yeah, I like the idea, and yeah, the Oregon Trail. That's kind of it. I had thought, it's funny because I had literally thought of saying like Oregon Trail kind of graphics, but I was thinking of an actual like maybe possibly like a scroller
Psychic
survival
connection.
game. But then I was like, nah, we don't have to have any actual like animation to it. It can literally just be images, and you're just kind of like building stuff up.
Yep.
We don't have to have like movement or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I should have told everyone that I'm doing a podcast right now because supper's ready.
Are you at
Sir.
work?
I'm at the townhouse, but not at work. No, in my room. But they're
Oh,
just,
okay.
I didn't tell them I'm doing a podcast, so they're
Yeah.
interrupting a little bit. It's okay. But yeah, I really like that. Yeah, that survival game. I think that's really cool, and I think the basis of it is fun and very easy to do as far as programming and actual game development goes. It sounds like a pretty straightforward game to make.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited on that. That's cool.
All right, let's totally change course on the games. What do you think of role-playing games like Final Fantasy?
Role-playing games.
Because I'm a huge fan of those. Like
Me too.
I've played a lot of those.
Me too. I've played a shit ton of role-playing
Zelda?
games. Yeah, I've played a lot of Zelda.
Although that's more like an action role-playing game. There's like the turn-based, and then there's the action ones.
Yeah.
Like Final
Action's
Fantasy
cool.
versus
And you know what?
Zelda.
Action, a game. Sorry to kind of cut you off there,
Oh, yeah.
but an action game like Zelda is again, it's like programming wise, it's pretty easy because you have a certain attack range. Everything, like all your range is gridded on. Is on a grid. So as you move, your coordinates are going to change, and that's going to adjust your area of effect for.
But that's
whatever
not
attacks
easy.
you
That's
have.
not easy to do graphically.
Well, that's underlying code that you don't really see.
No, yeah, definitely.
Your
but
visuals, like your sword swing may be in an arc, but your actual hitbox is going to be in like
Yes.
a pixel square.
yes. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
at some level.
At some level, exactly. Yeah. So, I think that's still pretty easy to make too. Actually, not for us, but if we had a team of, if we did manage to source some coders, and my friend too, Kieran, he is at UVic right now doing. Did you meet him at all?
Keenan?
Keenan? Did I say Kieran? I did say Kieran. Keenan. He's at UVic and he's doing he's doing like game programming. And I was talking to him a while ago about that. Well, I linked that stuff to that in that Facebook chat with you, Keenan, and Fred.
Yeah.
So I mean he obviously that's what he wants to do too. So I think I definitely want to work with him on some of this stuff too if he'd be interested in it. So
That's cool.
yeah, just another. It's good to. I don't know. I like as not as easy as it could be, but I mean, as successful as we could be sourcing people online or whatever on like on a forum or just through like postings online or something like that, just trying
It's
to get
better
someone's-
to use your personal connections.
Yeah,
so.
and not only that, I feel like it's so much more rewarding for everyone because like he comes from my hometown. My brother's been friends with him for a long time, and I just feel like I'd so much prefer to work with someone that I know, and or like and not that I don't like working with strangers. I've worked with strangers all the time, but
You antisocial ass.
no, I like helping, like if in any way I can build up people that are around me. Give them opportunity as well. Like even with the business that I'm in right now, I always
You know
try
what?
and hire
You know what I
people
just
that
realized?
I know. 'Cause I'm like, hey man, like come work.
Sorry
for
to cut
me.
you off.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
You know what? Totally. Sorry. It's just such an epiphany. Something that we should do is move the goddamn furnaces. Because we've been traveling so far. Like,
Boost.
we've just been so into this
been like,
podcast. I haven't realized what's going on.
Oh, you already got it all right.
Jeez, this is
If anyone
no.
was
I
watching
only
this, they're
realized
like,
now
"Move
because
the
we're like
fucking furnace."
we're traveling so far now, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god.
Well, because that is where the water once was. Once upon a time. Wow, we cleared all this out, man. Good. This was a hard room to clear. It was super awkward. That because it was all like up on the roof. That was fuck, man. That was a pain in the arse. Oh, I've got a sponge. Okay, good.
Okay, now this should at least quintuple our rate of
Oh.
sponging.
And then some. Quintuple. Oh, this is a.
Yeah, there's enough connections between the both of us where we could find somebody that is able to do that.
Definitely,
like
yeah.
within the multitude of like computing languages.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'm really fond of that idea that we had for the that game. Do you want to put one of the chests back down? I'll just drop some of those my bricks that I've got in here that I don't really need at all. Ooh, I'm running out of steak too. Good thing I got some cooked fish.
You need some food?
I'm good for now. Look to your left.
I bet that will be really fun.
I've got like 2 stacks for my monster machine. I've got, I think I have like 10 stacks in total of TNT. Like I got a lot.
I've got to sponge.
Yeah, we should. Okay, RPG. That's what you're talking about.
Yes,
we're
RPG.
Segwagging.
So, is there
segwagging
any other type of RPG that you can think of that doesn't fit the turn-based Final Fantasy style or the action real-time Zelda style?
Ooh, okay. Because I was gonna say, well, yeah, action-based, but ooh.
There's actually
I don't think there is another. I mean, really, it's either constant or turn-based. I don't really think there's a happy medium at all. Can you think of a game that is? It's either you have like free-flowing gameplay, or you have
random.
On,
Oh shit! I just ran to the old furnace location.
but I mean, okay, hang on. Final Fantasy though wasn't turn-based. The combat in it was turn-based.
Yeah, but
Other than
that's
that,
still
your roaming was full action.
Sure.
And trading and
and
exchanging
even
with people.
even then the gameplay wasn't totally turn-based. It was like your time gauge fills up, right? So it wasn't like you take a turn and then the enemy takes a turn. It's like if your time gauge fills up and you're like scrolling through the different spells of what you want to do, well, the enemy's going to attack you.
This is all sponge up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, what
Found
the
it.
fuck? Beautiful.
Oh, this should make it really easy now.
Oh my god, so many sponge. Sorry, what were you saying before? I found these sponges and I was trying to understand what was happening.
Hey, give me a slice.
No. Of pizza. A pizzeria. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like other RPG games that I've played. Most of it is all like I've played a lot, and I mean a lot of MMORPGs. Elcardian, Priston Tale, Ragnarok, a bunch that I don't even remember the name of. Myth of Soma. I played a lot of. Were they Vietnamese? Played a lot of Korean games. Yeah, I think Myth of Soma, Elcardian, those are Korean games. Yeah, I've played quite a few. But those are all like the live action games, and they're all multiplayer online. I don't know off the top of my head. I can't really think of other types of RPG games. That just seems to be the only one.
Yeah, that's it. I also wouldn't mind doing like one of those RPGs, but it would probably have to be more turn-based. Just because I'm thinking, just the graphics have to be the hardest.
Again, though, I feel like
we'll
no.
have to do more research.
Honestly, I feel no, and I feel that now with a lot of like, I mean, there's literally now there's software to create a game where there's like no coding. It's just like a GUI like software like a Photoshop or like a Premiere Pro for video editing. It's like that. It's a game creation suite.
Yes.
Where you don't have to do any coding. There's just kind of like commands that you add. There's just like all these different attributes that you add to these characters. There's animations that you can add in. There's different graphics, like all that stuff. You can just kind of create a game on your own, which are cool. But I think you're probably still very limited with what you can do. But it's a cool thing that people can do. Without any experience, they can kind of get their hands dirty in a sense with programming and game development.
This sponging is now on overdrive because I just took 4. I came back. I took out 7. Now I got 7 in the furnace.
This sponging is on overdrive. Good find, Ross. Indeed, Ross. Cheerio,
yeah,
Ross.
Good job, Ross.
It's a team effort.
Oh wait, don't sponge this.
Why not?
This might actually be to our benefit.
Why? It floods below,
Because but that's like a waterway that we can. Oh wait, let's just build stairs.
Yeah. Oh lol. Here, take that sponge. It's dry.
I've got 6 more.
It's so dry. Kudo-san. Get to the edge. There you go. Boom. Boom. Shalak lock. Boom. RPG game. I want to make an RPG game, but you need a cool concept. See, that's another thing too that actually really makes, especially like RPG games. There's a lot of them out there. Concept is an important, is very, I think is a very important part of it.
Yeah, it would be what makes you different.
Like, yeah. Okay, that was really annoying. I feel like the whole, you know, survival, like post zombie
Is now
apocalypse
done?
is, yeah, it's a fairly saturated market.
You-
Some people doing it well, some people just copycatting.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was playing was it 7 Days to Die? It is Rust. Like they took Rust and just copied it. So I mean that's pretty saturated.
I got some
I don't
dirt.
know,
I can
there could be some pretty
get us
cool.
out of here.
I can get us out too.
No, you can't. Me.
Why you gotta be so selfish? Why'd you have to be so selfish? See, I didn't dirty the place up with all the dirt, Marius.
Oh, literally dirt.
Dirty guy. Dirty guy.
So let's
Oof.
move on.
Where else can we sponge? Move on to what? Topics?
And
Sponging.
sponge location because we cleared this place out
Yeah.
so fast.
Move the equipment. Man, yeah, I just don't know for RPGs. I think again, like I said, there's just so many RPGs out there to make something unique. Like I don't think we can just pull something out of our ass on a podcast, but definitely something to think about because RPGs everyone loves RPGs. Who doesn't love RPGs?
I agree.
But in a sense, though, that game that I was thinking about also kind of, you could add a lot of RPG elements into it, like character progression. You could have them increase in certain skills. Say if they're like doing lumberjack or you know like woodworking, if they're cutting down trees, things like that. I'll go this way. You go the other way.
Okay.
So I mean, there could be a lot of things. Ugh. Done.
Oh, I
That
gotta
is
I gotta
so
set up
fast.
the furnace again because I've got nothing.
Oh no, did I? Okay, I picked up that sponge. We're hard at work here. The podcast is like, it's just stalling. We're like,
I'm thinking
we
about
can get so
yeah,
much water.
we need to like meet up with a couple friends and some inebriating substances and just have a whiteboard and just like draw
Mexico,
on
dude.
the whiteboard different.
When we're at the
different-
resort, we can be like, hey, can we use a
use their
whiteboard?
conference room.
Yeah, hell yeah, why not? Let's do it. It's gonna be you, me, and like, I don't know, David, and I don't know who else would be beneficial. Ben, maybe.
Ben.
Yeah.
And that's about it. The girls can go hang out by
Yeah.
themselves.
Okay, girls. Yeah, girls.
tan.
Day. Yeah. Go tan. Lol, fags. I went tanning the other day and I burnt myself because I wanted to get a bit of a tan on before I get completely scorched in Mexico.
Yes, that's smart.
And
as a white, one of the white.
yeah, as a white European
Northern
male,
European.
Northern European male.
I'm European, but I'm olive.
Yeah, same with Chris. Because I mean, she's Russian, but she's got olive skin. So
Some Russians are hella pale.
yeah, she's olive. She's always got this weird like yellow tint to her. I'm like, why are you so yellow? She's like, I'm not. No, that interaction never happened. I'm lying.
She's gonna hear this.
She's gonna hear it. She'll be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. It's for comedic relief. What can I say? I used you for comedic relief.
You digitally
horrible.
assassinated her for comedic relief.
I'm a horrible boyfriend. Okay, that fucking guy is hurting me a lot here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more food. I got 8 steaks and a bunch of glass I could eat, I guess.
I always threaten. Never mind.
Never mind. I always threaten. Never mind. We'll just leave it there.
Yep.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Hey, check this out.
Let's okay, we're gonna hang on. Let me get this sponge. I'll come check it out. But I was
No.
gonna say
Look
let's
behind
veer
you.
off the RPG subject because what?
I came through the door here. I made a door.
Oh, cool. Boost.
Oh, I guess that's cool.
I was. Oh, that's interesting. Let's veer off the. Oh, where'd all of our equipment go? Oh, I got it. I stole all of it. I'm like, wait, that was me. My B. I guess we really only need the furnace. Let's veer off the RPG subject because I feel like it's a conversation killer.
Put the
like
second.
we're getting
yeah,
really
that's
dumb.
true. We have to be focused on an RPG.
Yeah. Yeah, RPG requires way too much focus for it.
I actually have to go in about 10 minutes.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I do want to say something pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm tabbing out because I gotta check the webcam so you can actually see this too. I bought a tablet. It was on sale. That's volume. It was on sale for like 180 bucks. It's normally like 220 or something like that. It's the Asus Vivo Tablet 8. It's an 8-inch tablet.
Yep.
It's a Windows. Oh, 1 second. I got someone talking to me in Vent. It's a Windows 8 tablet, and the reason why I got it is because with HyperCoin, the way that you stake your coin is that you have your wallet.
But why do you have to stake your coins? I know we talked about this already.
So,
I'm just still confused as to what
okay,
the purpose of staking is.
So the purpose of staking is basically saying that, say I have, well, right now in my wallet I've got 10,000 Hyper, which is like, I think it's like 2 Bitcoin. So what it does is when I stake the coin, basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, I am saying that I'm not going to spend this Hyper. I'm investing in the Hyper network, and that's basically what the stake is. You're saying that you're going to stake this coin in the wallet. That you're not going to spend it. You're going to hold on to it. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to use it. You're just going to stake it because you're investing in the network. And when you stake it, they issue 5% a month interest, and that's how coins are created. So instead of a proof of work system where you have to run a client that's mining and consuming a lot of energy and processing all these, whatever the mathematics, whatever or like those ASICs chips, instead of that, all you're doing is just staying invested in the network, because a lot of miners, they mine the Bitcoin and then sell them for cash, mine and sell for cash.
Okay.
HyperCoin, it's saying, okay, I'm going to not spend this, I'm going to hold on to this, and because I'm vested in the network. And if you look at the price of HyperCoin, it has not pumped and dumped. Like, it's been around, it's been up on Bittrex, I think, for like 6 or 7 months, and it's had a steady, nice and easy like climb. There's been a few spikes, of course. Everything spikes randomly. Like a week ago, it doubled in price for a day or for like 6 hours. It was kind of, I don't know what that was all about. But it came back down and it settled. And yeah, it's basically saying that I'm invested in the network and I want this thing to continue.
Okay,
and
why do you have to do that though?
Because it's a proof of. Oh, you're saying like, why do you stake instead of?
Why should I? Why should I stake?
Why should you stake? So that it's so that you can mine more Hyper, so that you can get 5% on whatever the amount.
But
you
why
stake.
do I? Okay, but why do I need to stake in order to mine Hyper?
Because that's their system. That's the way they created it.
So in order for me to mine Hyper, I have to stake coin.
Yes.
That already sounds a little too authoritarian for me.
How so?
Well, it's like, hey, come here and help us do this, but it has to be on our terms. It has to be on, like, it's somebody else telling me how to mine. I can't just like mine and, you know, allow myself to mine however me and my mining group want.
Yeah, but that's not true at all, because with any cryptocurrency, whether it's proof of stake or mining, you have to mine, and it's still saying no for you. If you want to mine coin, you have to mine, and that's the way it is. So it's kind of irrelevant because no matter what, you have to mine, and there's no options of how to mine. Some cryptocurrencies you can only mine, like you have to be on a certain pool to mine it because it has like limited, or it's like a restricted. Actually, I actually don't understand why they do that, but I have seen some that are on like you can only mine on a certain pool.
Okay.
So it's just a different form of mining, but this is it's got a stake, and the reason why it's also staked too is that they can kind of predict the minting of the coins because they can make calculations on if X amount of people are staking the coin, or if all the coins are being staked at the same time, then we can expect this amount of coins to be created, and they can kind of gauge the minting process of the coin.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Does that kind of answer your question, or do you feel you're still kind of unanswered, or you don't really understand it?
No, I understand the, let's say, I know that the staking to me, it fills the role of people using and trading the coin. Like it sets a pretty good base level, but I don't like the fact that I have to buy into just the staking part of it. The fact that somebody says, okay, in order to do this, you have to stake some coin.
In order to do what? Like in order to stake your coin, you have to stake your coin? I don't get it.
In order to mine Hyper, I have to stake some coin.
Oh yeah, well that's just the system. It's a proof of stake. I prefer it because I don't have to buy expensive hardware, which is just a waste. I don't have to spend a lot of energy to do it, which is another waste. All I do is I just
let me
don't
put it
spend
another way. Let me put it another way. It seems like the people who made HyperCoin have a monopoly on the mining operation.
How would they have a monopoly?
Because they're telling you to stake it. Who's telling you to stake it?
That's how the cryptocurrency works.
Okay, so the people who made the coin made it so that they monopolize the mining operation because I'm sure they're the one running the pool. Whoever you stake it to.
It's not no, you don't stake it on a pool for this. This is just on your wallet client. You just all you do is you keep your wallet open for like 3 hours, and then it'll catch up. So you don't even have to keep your wallet running 24/7.
I don't know what you're talking about now. Why are you talking about wallet?
Because that's how you stake your coin. So those a Bitcoin wallet, say, that you have on your computer.
Of course.
That has an address. So that's all you do. You have a wallet on your computer. You fund that wallet with the coin, so the HyperCoin. You get a Hyper wallet. You transfer HyperCoin onto that wallet, and once the funds have been in that wallet for over 24 hours, it will then start to stake the coin. So you can close your wallet down. You can come back a week later, open up your wallet for like 2 hours.
Why is it doing that?
The wallet, okay, so the wallet being open, what it does is it connects and it syncs with the blockchain, and it confirms the network. So it confirms the Hyper network, because the Hyper network is its own blockchain. So basically, proof of staking, when your wallet is open for a certain amount of hours, you're also keeping your wallet open, which then secures the network. You're also confirming all the blockchain transactions. You're offering confirmations for the transactions, therefore securing the network. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
But why do I have to put some coins into a pool in order to?
It's not in a pool. It's in your wallet. You can take it out. You can spend it. Whatever you want to do. It's the proof of stake is just built into the wallet. It's a built-in function to your wallet. It's not a pool. It's the Hyper network.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I think so.
Do you still have questions?
I might.
Okay.
But that's for next time.
Word. I've got like a sponge mine going on here. There's sponges
I
everywhere.
thought you were. See, you said you were logging off so you can show me this video.
Oh, no. Sorry, it wasn't a video. Oh, I just broke into the outer world. It was, no, I tabbed out because I wanted to show on video my tablet and I held it up to the screen so everyone could see.
I see.
Yeah, with my Hyper wallet open and staking my coin.
Okay.
I staked 33 coins today, which is actually like. Wait, what? Hang on.
What? What?
What? Okay, that was like 0.3%. Yeah, that makes sense. Word. Well, now that you're logged off, I guess we can end it there. Yeah, so that was cool discussions. We should, I'm going to go back. I'll try and edit this right now, just kind of get it all done, put it online, and take some notes and kind of maybe brainstorm a little bit more on that survival game, because that sounds like a fun little project we could work on.
Sounds good.
Word. Okay, well, without further ado,
Until next time.
episode 5 in the bag, and we'll see you guys later. Take care.
I'll see you later.
All right, peace.
Peace.